Hi, how are you? I'm just here to tell you that, it may be true about Republicans being forgiven for being dirtbags. It's a possibility. But in any event, uh, lucky for Republicans, God is always on their side. They can get the right to rule directly from the will of God, as if there were no Constitution at all. God tells them who is forgiven and who is not, and no one questions them because divine authority trumps the law of the United States. Republican leadership only informed yesterday of Representative Trey Radels, the Republican from Florida, is arrested for buying 8 ball of cocaine. Now, of course, look, he's not black and he's not Hispanic and he's not Muslim and he's not Arab and he's not Persian. So it's not a big deal. He's going to get a slap on the hand. In reality, because he's a congressman, he should be punished a little bit harsher than others because he is the Republican light of the world. So, one of those deals. But they've already decided, the Republicans have already decided that God has forgiven him. Already. It was that fast. Uh, Michelle Bachmann and Sarah Palin and Glenn Beck and Ted Cruz and so far Rush Limbaugh hasn't claimed that he talks to God, but those others that I just mentioned, yeah, they've talked to God. God came down, told them, hey, look, forgive him and blah blah blah. So right now, Trey Radel is on a pedestal. He's born again suddenly, and he is. It's hard to say this with a straight face. But anyway, he's born again, and something or other, he's forgiven, and they're cool with it. Okay, so it's up to the people of Florida to decide when it comes to around election time. But there's no sense in or no, not even a need to punish Radel or to take a stand for law and order because this is the same representative that voted to drug test food stamp recipients. Yeah, Trey Radel, the cocaine guy. Uh, you know, all right, let's urinate or whatever it is analysis and let's blood test all the welfare recipients. But now we know that we should also blood test all the Congress and all the senators. Ain't no telling how many of these, and in particular, the Republicans have a good amount of money, so usually. So they should be able to afford plenty of cocaine, right? The guy was buying 8 balls. That's serious partying material there. In any case, uh, you know, food stamp recipients are not chosen by God. See? That's the difference between Trey Radel and the food stamp folks. They're not chosen by God for forgiveness. So that's the issue. They shouldn't get their food stamps if they screw up. But Trey Radel should remain a U.S. congressman at that heavy dollar stuff. All right. Well, something that the Republicans have to do is they have to update Jesus. I don't know, he's God and all that. But, you know, is it fair to say even God goofs up every once in a while? I don't think so. But somebody needs to update him that feeding the poor is not a good thing. And, Jesus talked about feeding the poor, but he may be God, but I think to the conservative Christians, he's gotten that wrong. Okay, moving on. Scott Walker is trying to pass off a little league. He's the governor of Wisconsin that hates labor, and he hates anybody who works really because he's put a lot of people out of work. So I mean, he says he loves jobs, but he doesn't act like it. In any case, he's boasting about how the Girl Scouts are doing really good in their sales of the cookies, the promotions. The Girl Scouts are doing good. And Little League teams should, the players should all possibly purchase business cards, and because this may motivate them to start businesses and so on and so forth. And, he is so talented. I'll tell you, that Scott Walker, he's really got fresh ideas. I've never seen anything like it. Okay, George Bush, here's good news. George Bush, he's got 2 months to go. He's out of the, statute of limitations. He won't be able to be tried for war crimes, which he richly deserves. I mean, he's a mass murderer, That's George. His sidekick, Cheney, he's boom, boom. He uses a shotgun. But anyway, so look to see more of George Bush in the media, in the coming, it sucks. It's sad, but look for him because he's starting to get his confidence is returning because, he hasn't been charged with the war crimes he so richly deserves. And so he went out and he figured he'd monopolize. And he went out, he bought himself a Monopoly set, and he bought himself get out of jail cards just in case. So, this past week he's been on TV and a few different things. And he was showing Jay Leno his doggy pictures, or no, I think it was a portrait he painted of Jay Leno, I wish so much. He had been painting all his life, and I wish he was just a painter. When I think of all the families he's destroyed, and the bombings, and the people, and, and I think the figure is like about 600,000 people. And then America walks away empty-handed. I asked the conservative Republican, one of the bigger shots, he's a big contributor, I asked him, I said, did we get the oil? He said, nope. But he was ready to go to war with Iran. And I'm telling you, they're biting at the bit to go to war with Iran. That religious cuckoo maniac right. Okay, moving on. We're going to have to deal with more George Bush. You may be able to put a block on your television or something. That's something that the software developers are probably working on right now. Really, when it comes to George Bush, it's easier to call him by his real name, maybe. Idiot. Because if we all called him, because Bush is a pretty common, surname. But if he was called Idiot, well, everybody would know it's George because there hasn't been that many, I'll tell you though, really, in all honesty, and I'm not knocking people who have handicaps and stuff like that. Don't misunderstand me, please. But George, I think George is a Neanderthal. I think so. If you watch him walk, he bipedals, but he ain't real good at it. Will Ferrell has showed us that he's not good. And in any case, he spoke the other day, Georgie boy there. He spoke to the oil industry the other day over here in one of these towns, and he said, he was talking about, economic prosperity and investing in the private sector. And, he wants that XL pipeline, that Keystone XL pipeline. He wants that built. And he told the people at this little speaker session that it would create 20,000 jobs. And he wants to build, it's going to be that Canadian tar sands oil stuff and everything. I'm not an oil engineer, thank God. Your job is to pollute the world. What a job, right? In any case, the Keystone XL pipeline, he claimed, will jumpstart the economy and it will endanger a robust recovery. This guy, I'm telling you, if shit were his euphemism, it would be appropriate. He wasn't kidding. I mean, this is true. Then we have Allison Grimes, sexist Republicans endorse. Oh yeah, the Republican committee sent a tweet out that Allison Grimes was the new Obama girl, and what they were talking about was that she, they put on, they did that Photoshop and stuff and gave her. Actually, I saw the picture. It looked like a pretty good, attractive body to me. you know, uh, I don't want to emphasize it, but it looked good. And by the way, Miss Grimes is a very attractive gal. She really is. She's a nice looking woman. Uh, in any case, so now she's being accused of, and you know, what is it about the Republicans that they can't resist grabbing a woman by the throat and shaking her? You know, really, it doesn't matter. Whoop, there's a woman. Oh, there's another lady. Guys, would you leave the girls alone? The ladies, the woman, some have been queens. Doesn't that mean anything to you? Real queens? Like Queen Elizabeth? What is your problem? Gosh, talk about psycho nuts. Okay, anyway, oh yeah, oh, this is important, for real, okay? Did you know Republicans are quickie specialists? Yeah, they don't make love. Yeah, no, they screw. And this is from an official report from the Ashcan Institution. The name is immaterial. They're quickie specialists, and in fact, I think they may have written a few books about it. That's one reason why you should like Democrats, progressives, liberals, independents, anybody. Because, well, no, not anybody. Those groups I just mentioned, because they're not quickie guys. Yeah, the independent stuff, people like me who have a mind. The minded ones, yeah. Typically, we like to make love. We like to enjoy the pleasure, the experience, and we like to give pleasure. And therein is the problem. You talk to a Republican about giving someone else pleasure or something of that nature, and you're going to get a filibuster. Yeah, you are. So in any case, that's another remarkable difference, and that really is something that's a case for study. How come? Independence, we like to make love. We don't like that. A couple smacks in the head and, do it, woman, do it. I wouldn't even like that for fun. In any case, another thing too, the Republicans have a monopoly on ugly. They do. They do. If you've seen Mitch McConnell, then you know that's ugly. Golly, he's scary ugly. I've seen his wife, and I respect her, and I'm sure she's a fine woman. But I'm not gonna lie to you. That lady needs bifocals. Maybe a telescope. Maybe her eyesight's so bad she needs a microscope. Maybe it's so bad. Poor Mrs. McConnell. She needs the Hubble telescope, which, by the way, has been improved. So that should do it. That should be suitable. I feel for her. I really do. Really, to wake up in the morning, and I'm a guy, right? So normally, it's not something I'd really be interested in, but, he is ugly. That's all I could say. And I feel for her. I don't know how she deals with that. But, the Asia, poverty, and so on and so forth. I don't want to go hurt someone's feelings that way. Sarah Palin has told African Americans that they misinterpreted the word slavery. Okay, because she compared slavery to the website crisis with the Affordable Care Act. This lady is not stupid. She's morbidly stupid. My mind, I don't know what to do. It's hard to believe that there's someone so, and in this time, I like to be polite, but, it's hard. It's hard when it comes to Sarah Palin, comparing slavery. This woman has no mind. No mind whatsoever. She can't even imagine what it's like to live under slavery. Now, how stupid, how intellectually stupid can a person be? Well, she's one of their big leaders. Let me tell you something. When it comes to stupidity, the Republicans ate the whole pie. They didn't leave anybody crumbs. They ate it all. She went on to say that African Americans don't understand what the word slavery means. That's how she corrected her mistake. Really, this lady, we should go back to years ago, throw eggs at her, throw rotten eggs at her, throw rotten tomatoes at her. I mean, that's really, she should be grateful for today's civil laws. That's all I got to say. Okay, moving on. What else is there? I went through that. Well, the same old thing. The Speaker of the House there, John Boehner. John, lazy ass, drunk most of the time, Boehner. That's not confirmed, okay? That's hearsay. That's hearsay, so I stand corrected about his drinking too much. Well, whatever. But anyway, he says he will not punish Trey Radel for the cocaine infraction, for being busted with the cocaine and convicted. Okay? So here's something that's interesting. You might be a Republican if your mantra is personal responsibility for working moms on welfare. But if your mantra isn't for coke snorting cop congressman. Ridiculous, right? I agree. Folks, have a great day and screw them. And when you get in touch with a Republican congressman or senator, don't be afraid to call him a coward. You can call him here. This is an approved list. You can call them cowards. You can call them scumbags. You could say like, hey, look, scumbag, I know you're selling yourself out to energy people. You can talk to them like that. They have, some have answering machines on their phones. And if you get to speak to one of their representatives, which I did not long ago, yeah, you can go off on them and tell them, the guy's a dirtbag. He's a scumbag. What's wrong with you guys? And guess what? I did this for 20 minutes and they didn't hang up on me. Check that out. And I said, okay, that's all I got to say. Goodbye. And the man said, yes, sir, goodbye. Really, this is what they are. Call them what they are. Americans think that they're going to pussyfoot. You can't reach those Republican scumbags that way. You want to reach Republican scumbags, you got to call them scumbag. Listen, they know who you are right away. Hey, dirtbag. Hey, schmuck. Hey, idiot. That's how you do it. Okay, folks. Hey, you have a great day. And I hope you follow some of my instructions. Some of it's pretty good.